Aprilia RS660 has been gobbling up plenty of column inches since it bounded onto the scene at EICMA in 2018. First as a concept and then in 2019 as a good-to-go motorcycle. Since then, the steady stream of official announcements, spy shots and teaser pictures have kept the global motorcycle audience poised with giddy excitement. And the excitement was worth it, because as we found out on the official launch, the real-life riding experience definitely lives up to the hype that has snowballed around the machine. However, there is just one unanswered question, and it's one that continually crops up in the comments on social media. Just which motorcycles will be the Aprilia RS660's biggest rivals? It's actually a very tricky question to answer, and one that we're going to set out to answer now, or at least understand a little better than we do. To look at on the road, the RS660 is clearly a middleweight sports bike, with most riders hanging the Supersports tag from its felt bodywork. But delve deeper into the specs and it doesn't take long to realise this isn't a race-to-road speedster. Indeed, at just under 100 horsepower, the RS660 is comfortably down on power and torque compared with some of its rivals, but it's certainly faster and higher quality and more expensive than the model equivalents at the other end of the scale. Looking above, we're talking about the 130 horsepower Kawasaki ZX6R Ninja, the 118 horsepower Yamaha R6, and even the MV Agusta F3 800 with its claimed 150 horsepower. And with each of those bikes that I've mentioned above comes a track focus that brings with it an aggressive riding position, firm seat and racy clip-on handlebars. All of which are great for when you're chipping tenths from your lap time at Brands Hatch. Less ideal when you're out for a long ride with your mates. So maybe our search for the ultimate rival to the Aprilia should come from the other end of the supersport spectrum, where we find bikes like the Honda CBR 650R and the Kawasaki Ninja 650, two very different takes on the theme. These bikes are designed to allow the look and some of the feel of a supersports motorcycle without any of the knife-edge dynamics. Both of these can't be called out-and-out supersports bikes, but while they clearly share a visual DNA with their more honed counterparts, these are sport-themed fared bikes that err a little closer to the side of everyday comfort. Think attractive, but still wearing a sensible jacket. They also provide less power than the machines I mentioned earlier and the Aprilia RS660, with the Honda producing a claimed 94 horsepower and the Kawasaki 67. So there we have it. These are the rivals we've been looking for. But no, they aren't, because on paper, the stats don't tell half the story. You see, both bikes are as stripped back and basic as you get in this class. The Kawasaki comes with 2-channel ABS and a TFT screen, and that's pretty much it. With the Honda 2, it's a similar story. It has its own brand traction control and 2-channel ABS, joined by a quirky reverse LCD dash. The Aprilia, on the other hand, is dripping in tech. It has IMU-controlled cornering ABS, which is switchable, traction control with multiple levels and 8 stages of intervention. The list doesn't stop there either, with wheelie control, an up and down quick shifter, engine braking control, 4 riding modes and 2 track riding modes, rounding out the smorgasbord of gizmos. And it's not just the lower spec machines that have been given a bloody nose by the Italian from Noale. Comparing the Aprilia to the ZX6R, the R6 and even the F3 800, it's only really the big bore MV that comes close in terms of rider aids and assistance. Although going by MV's figures, it's around 50 bhp more. Confused yet? So are we. In truth, the Aprilia RS660 is ploughing its own furrow in the motorcycle world, and each and every manufacturer that we've mentioned above that makes a middleweight motorcycle of pretty much any description should be worried. It's not just the sports bikes that the RS660 will be taking sales from in 2021. But proving that you don't need all the power all the time, and that 100 horsepower and an excellent chassis will be enough to keep buyers away from the ZX6R and the R6 is the trick the Aprilia has pulled. In short, by having no rivals, it will likely end up a thorn in the side of every motorcycle within a 75 bhp range. So in conclusion, picking one will come down to budget on the one hand, or whether you just need 120 bhp and a screaming engine note. If you don't and can't afford to spend right down the middle, the Aprilia RS660 is all the super sports machine you'd ever need. Better still, this is just the start. This new 660 line will spawn a 2.0 Naked and a Touareg ADV, and that thing will have the Yamaha Tenere in its sights. Frankly, if you're into Aprilia's bikes, there's probably never been a better time to be alive.